Hey there, welcome to Yoga with Pat. Today we're going to do a short shoulder practice, get a little bit into the neck, get a little bit into the shoulders, and then even a little bit into the upper back and working in the outer hips. We're going to keep it brief, but we're going to use a couple of things today. So if you have it, a scarf would do you really nicely. It could be a scarf or it could be a yoga belt if you have it. Could be a regular belt, but just something long that you can hold on to. And if you have it, even better would be a resistance band. So we're going to do a little bit of external rotator strengthening to kind of set our shoulders in the right spot so that we're moving, when we're stretching our shoulders, we're moving them optimally. Okay, and then from here, also, let's use a block today. Again, if you don't have it, don't worry, no problem. We're just gonna use this block for one thing. So a box, maybe filled with some things, or a stack of books would be fine for this. Okay, so putting this stuff aside, if you have your resistance band, grab your resistance band, or we can also use a scarf and just kind of get used to the motions. You're just not going to have a lot of stretch in the scarf. Okay, so here, if you have both of those things, let's roll our scarf or towel or something that you can put under your elbow. Let's roll that up. So it could be a towel or a scarf, maybe a small throw blanket. And we just want to place that. We're going to start with our right elbow. So right elbow against the right side, and we're just going to use that so we can press our elbow into the side here. And then we're going to grab our resistance band. You'll have your palms facing up towards the ceiling and then your resistance band kind of resting in both the palms. Hold on to that resistance band, palms facing up, thumbs are pointing outwards. And from here, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Make sure that you're scooched forward on your seat too. So we don't want to be kind of relaxed sitting back here. We want to be scooched forward. Make sure both feet are planted. Lift the chest, sit up nice and tall, and then take your right arm out to the side. So that left arm's going to be holding onto the resistance band. So that's going to be pressed into your side. Strong left arm. Your right arm is going to do the movement. So right hand's going to come out to the side so that your fingers are moving towards that, whatever you have on your right there, right wall. Keep that elbow nice and pressed in so we don't want to drop that towel. Good. And then come back to center. Perfect. And now from here, we're going to do that again. Take a nice deep breath in. Inhale. And then as you exhale, pressing your elbow into your side, keeping that towel firm into your side. We're moving that arm out to the side. Good. Breathe. And then bring that hand back to center. One more time. Maybe you're starting to feel it already. I am. Take a deep breath in, and then take your right hand out to the side. Good. Make sure that elbow isn't leaving the side body. Good. And then back to center. Perfect. So let's do the other side. Place your resistance band on your lap here, and then we're just going to take that rolled up scarf or rolled up towel, whatever you have, and place it under your left arm. So we're keeping, that's to remind us to keep that left arm pressed into the side body here, so we don't want to do that movement with the entire arm, because then we're recruiting all sorts of other muscles. And right now we want to concentrate on those external rotators of your rotator cuff. We want to strengthen those. So palms of the hands up. Good. Thumbs are pointing outwards. We're gripping onto the resistance band. Keep that towel or the scarf next to you, and then take the left arm out to the side. Good. Back to center. Chest is tall. We're keeping ourselves nice and long through the spine. Shoulder blades down the back. Good. And then one more time, or two more times. We're going to take that left arm out to the side. and then back to center. So depending on the resistance bands that you have, hopefully you're using the lightest one. If not, rewind, switch to the lightest one. These are small muscles we're working with. Another time. Left arm out to the side. Good. Take a breath there, and then back to center. Perfect. Now relax. Bring the resistance band down. We're gonna put this towel here to the side. And then if you have your resistance band, use your resistance band. If you're using a towel, that's okay. So we can take our scarf or our resistance band. We're gonna hold on to the resistance band. Thumbs are in this time. And we're gonna hold it nice and taut so that we're almost making like a V with our arms. Now, if you're holding a scarf, you're gonna start here at a pretty wide setting. So you're taking your arms out wide. Good. And what we're gonna do here is if you're holding a resistance band, keep it taut. You're using the strength of your arms to hold it out. We're gonna take the arms overhead. Good, keeping the tension, and then bring the arms back down. Good. Here, make sure you're keeping that tension as you bring the arms down. And then inhale, bringing your arms up overhead, keep that tension. Exhale, hands down. Good. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Keep that tension up there at the top. Perfect. And then exhale, hands down to the side. Nice. Let's put that aside. And then again, you can use your resistance band for this part. It'll just make it less of a stretchy sensation. Or you can use your scarf. We're gonna bring our scarf, let's bring it over to the right side. We'll just start on the right side. Bring your scarf to the right shoulder, or you can also use your resistance band. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna take that right arm up. So make sure you're swinging it in front of you. So here, right arm is pointing forward. Pretend like you're reaching for something. So reach with that right arm, not moving your chest, not moving your hips, just the right arm is gonna go forward. So maybe here you can even touch, you feel how your shoulder blade kind of wraps around the side. That's what we want. So keep reaching, and then keep that reach and continue with the hand up towards the ceiling. So your hand's now gonna be reaching up towards the ceiling. Perfect. From here, we're gonna bend the elbow, bring your hand to that resistance band or to your scarf, and then we're gonna take our left arm out. That left arm's gonna come out and to the side. So we're gonna take it out like a T. Thumb comes down, so turn your palm towards the floor, and then thumb's gonna be pointing down. So now your palm is facing behind you. Bend the left arm and find your scarf or resistance band behind you. Now, if you're using a resistance band, now you're just using the strength of your arms to bring you there. So bring that right elbow up towards the ceiling. Keep it close to your head if you can, and tuck that left elbow in towards your side. Good. Now lift the chest, lift the upper back, breathe. I'm just gonna take 2 more breaths here. Keeping the elbow moving up, keeping tension in the strap. Good, and then from here, release. Take a moment in between sides. Feel how different that right shoulder feels than your left shoulder. Good. And now from here, take your arms up, just like we did with the scarf, but this time we're just gonna bring our arms up into a V, open up through the hands, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, bend the elbows. Shoulder blades are gonna move down your back and together, like you could pinch a lemon or an orange in between both shoulder blades. Lift your chest. Perfect, and then relax that. Now from here, let's take our resistance band, strap, whatever you have, bring it to the left shoulder this time. Then we're gonna take our left arm out. Shoulders not gonna move, shoulders in line with the hips. We're still seated, both feet are planted, but we're gonna reach with the left arm so that shoulder blade wraps around the side of our ribs here. Good, keep that, and then take the left arm up. As the left fingertips reach towards the ceiling, bend your elbow and find the strap behind you. Good. Keep your left elbow kind of just tucked in towards the head, right? And lifting up. So we're using the strength of that shoulder to bring the arm into that direction. Then from here, we're going to take our right arm out, bring it out to the side. Then your thumb is going to move down towards the floor, so your palm is facing away from you. So we're just internally rotating that arm bone. So thumbs pointing down, bend the elbow, bring the hand behind you and find the other end of that strap. Don't worry about how far up your back you go. Just keep some tension in the strap and then lift the top elbow towards the ceiling. Tuck that right elbow in towards your side and take a nice deep breath here. Good. Remember to breathe. If there's some tension in your shoulders, that's okay. Just make sure it doesn't hurt. And then if your shoulders are working to be in this position, that's okay too. We're building strength. Another breath. And then release it. Bring both hands to your lap. Just take a moment to feel both shoulders, feel what it feels like. And then again, bring your hands out to the sides, come into that V shape, reach for the ceiling, take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, bend your elbows, bring your shoulder blades together so your chest is lifting and moving forward as your shoulder blades move down your back. Good. And then relax that. Strap can go on the floor now. Let's pay a little attention to our neck. So now for the neck, we want to first make sure that we're nice and stable on the chair. We're not going to be moving our back and we're not going to be moving our side for this part of our practice. We want to bring our shoulder blades down the back together, palms of the hands resting on the sides for now. Just give a gentle tuck to your chin here. And look about maybe 3 feet in front of you. Feel yourself growing a little bit taller through the spine and then a little bit taller through the crown of the skull. Good. Shoulder blades are relaxed and moving down the back. Now from here, I want you to bend or tilt your head towards your right shoulders very slowly, very mindfully. And just come to a place where you feel a little bit of tension. So your right ear is moving towards your right shoulder. Good, and you can stay here, or if this feels okay, maybe you can do a little bit more of a stretch. You can bring your right arm up or your right hand up. Bring those right fingertips by your ear and then apply just a little bit of pressure. Good, just until you feel some tension along the side of the neck here, along this muscle, side of the neck, top of the shoulder. Good. And now we're going to change that stretch just a little bit. So bring your chin now towards your right shoulder. So just tilting the chin down. Lovely. And now bring your chin back to center, very slow. Good. Release the pressure from the head. And now see if you can turn your chin up. Just until you feel that tension change. So chin is moving towards the ceiling. Good. Back to center. And then bring your head back over your shoulders. Let's do the other side. So now that left ear is going to move towards the left shoulder very slowly. Good. Good, just finding that band of tension. If you feel like you could do a little bit more, then left fingers come to the left ear, top of the left ear, and apply just a little bit of gentle pressure. Good, let's change that stretch a little bit. So chin is now tilting towards the left armpit. Good, bring your head back to neutral. And then hand releases, maybe we can turn that chin up slightly. Take another breath here. Lovely, come back to center. Good. So now, bring your hands over your heart. So hands over heart, we're not really doing a breathing practice here right now, although I want you to continue to breathe, but we're using our hands as a base of support to remind our sternum, our clavicle bones here to stay neutral. We want to send the head back, but really slowly while the chest stays in a neutral position. So hands are here just to apply a little bit of gentle pressure. And then from here, slowly allow the back of your head to find the top of your shoulders. Just until you feel some tension. Good, and chin's pointing up. Most of us are going to feel a stretch here, but if you don't feel a stretch here, you can kind of move your bottom jawbone forward. So give yourself like an underbite, and that might increase the tension in the front neck muscles there for you. But if you're already feeling the stretch, then don't worry about it. Good, come back to center. Pause here for a moment. And then bring your chin towards your sternum. Good, just until you feel a nice stretch behind the neck. Lovely, come back to center. Bring your hands to your thighs. Let's pay a little attention to the hips. So here's where your block will come in handy. Of course, if you don't have a block, don't worry about it. You can also just place your heel on the floor. So it's just gonna be preference, right? So I'm gonna put my block right in front of my right foot, and then I'm gonna place my heel. So we're gonna place our heel on that block. Your hands, both of them are going to be on the left knee, or on the left thigh. So make sure that left foot is nice and grounded. Toes are pointing forward, foot's right in front of your left hip there. And then press your right heel into the block. We're going to lean over that left leg. But here we're going to remember our shoulders. So bring your shoulders down your back and together. Pull your chest forward. We're going to do this tilt from the hips, so not from the spine. So from the hips here, pull your belly forward towards the top of that left thigh. Pull your chest forward. Keep pressing your right heel into the block or into the floor as you lean forward. And we're going to do this just until we feel some tension behind the leg. If there's a little micro bend in your knee, don't worry about it. Leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We're just looking for a sensation of stretch behind the leg. Keep pulling your chest forward, and of course, remember to breathe. Good, we're gonna take one more breath here. And then after that, slowly come up. And then just move the block to the other side. So that block's gonna be in front of the left foot this time. Left heel is gonna go on top of the block or just in front of you. So we're extending that leg. Heels on the floor or on the block. Right foot is right underneath your right knee, and that knee is in line with your right hip. So just pointing straight forward. That's our standing leg, and that's our base of support. So we're gonna place both hands on that standing leg. Keep that left leg extended, but also pressing, so strong, pressing into the block or floor beneath you. Then from here, we're gonna pull our chest forward by bringing our shoulder blades together. So your chest is moving up and forward. Your belly is gonna move towards the top of that left thigh. And then slowly bend, coming forward, hinging from the hips, and keeping your spine nice and long. Another breath here. Good, and then release, come up. We're gonna move this block over to the side, and we're gonna come into our squat. So this is how I like to get out of the chair, but again, if you don't do it the first time, just keep practicing, and we're gonna get out of that chair hands-free any day now. So I like to keep my feet a little bit wider than usual, so about hip distance apart. And then to make it easier, we can turn our toes out just slightly. So not like that, right? Not exaggerated like that, but just from both toes pointing straight, just turning the toes out just a millimeter is gonna help you recruit your glutes to be able to get out of your chair. So again, we wanna keep our spine long. We're gonna bring our shoulder blades down the back and together, turning on all of those back muscles, lifting the chest. And then again, just like we did with our leg stretch, we're gonna hinge forward. So I want you to hinge forward until you feel like you can press your feet into the mat and you can feel the backs of your legs kind of turn on and start to work. Maybe your feet are a little bit too forward here, so we're just move those feet back towards the chair. And then again, we're gonna lean forward and test it. See if we can bring our center of gravity over our feet. So test it, and if this feels unstable for you, maybe having a wall nearby or another chair can help, just with the balance portion of this. So again, from here, we're gonna lean forward, pressing into the feet. Maybe if we press into the feet, maybe we can bring our sit bones off of the chair, right? Like we can maybe even stick a piece of paper under there. Good, and come back down. Nice, one more time. So from here, just a little tester, leaning forward, sensing your center of gravity, feeling that you can maybe push into your feet to come up, and maybe this time you hover. Take a breath here. Good, and then sit back down. Last time, this time if you can, stand up, or we have a chair near us to help with the balance. Okay, so now from here, leaning forward, press into your feet, maybe you're hovering, good, another breath, and then strongly press into those feet. See if you can straighten your legs and come to standing. Yes, great job, we're standing now. So now we're gonna change the orientation of our chair and do a couple of standing poses. Okay, so now we're gonna move our chair to the front of our mat. So bring your chair so that the seat of your chair is facing towards you. Move any fans or any of that out of the way. So the seat of your chair here is facing towards you, and it's facing the long side of your mat, so you have a lot of room here to move your legs back and forth. And we're just gonna stand right in front of that seat of our chair so that we can see our toes. Good. And now both your feet are gonna be about hip, let's keep them between sit bone and hip distance apart, so a little bit wider. Each foot is on its side of the mat underneath of its respective hip. And now bring your hands to your hips, shoulder blades moving down your back and together. Lift your chest nice and tall. Feel yourself growing taller through the crown of your skull. Little tuck to your chin here. Good, and now from here, we're gonna hinge from our hips. So keep that activation in your back. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades down the back, chest moving forward, and now we're gonna hinge from our hips. So hinging forward, hinging forward. You can bend the knees as you hinge. Look at your chair and then bring your hands to either side of the chair seat. Your thumbs, the base of your thumbs are going to press into the chair, and those thumbs are going to be pointing forward. Now from here, we're just going to walk back. So we're going to take both feet, just walking back slowly. Press into the chair. It's good if this chair is on a mat so it's not sliding. And then from here, we're just going to bend those knees and then bring your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Good, and just go until where you stop. Keep your chest nice and long. Keep your arms extended out in front of you. And if you stop here, that's perfect. Right here is good. Downward facing dog with our chair. Very nice. And now from here, we're going to hinge back up. Look at your chair seat and then slowly begin to walk forward. So back into your your mini forward fold here, right? So knees are bent, hips are hinging forward. We're not quite draped over the legs. That's okay for today's practice. Good, and now from here, we're gonna bring our right foot a little bit forward. And then take your left leg back. So we're gonna come into a lunge. So you've got your chair here, that's your base of support. Press into that right leg, a little micro bend in that right knee so you can bring that right leg back behind you into a lunge. Good, so the ball of your back foot is gonna stay on the mat. Keep your chest nice and long. And then see if you can straighten that front leg. So just bring it to as straight as it goes. Keep those shoulder blades moving towards each other. Chest is moving forward. Very nice. Good. The back heel can maybe start to move down towards the mat. Maybe here you're feeling a little bonus stretch in those calf muscles. Good. And then we're going to come back forward, other side. So left foot is forward now. Left toes are underneath the chair. A little bend to the left knee, and then bring your right foot back. So the ball of your back foot is going to be on the mat. Both feet are on their side of the mat. So we want a nice wide stance here for stability. And then bring that back heel towards the mat. Maybe we straighten that front leg. Keep your chest pulling forward. Shoulder blades towards each other. Good, another breath. Maybe we get a little bonus stretch in that calf by bringing that back heel down. Good, and then back forward. Perfect. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to add a twist here. So very important. We have a wide stance. Each foot is under its own hip on its side of the mat. We're going to we want the right foot to be underneath of the chair, and we're going to take the left foot back. So again, it's going to be a pretty wide stance here. So wider than usual, or maybe wider than you're used to. We're going to take that back heel down, but we're also going to turn the left heel in towards the center of the mat. Good, and then straighten that front leg. From here, you might just begin to take that right hip back towards the wall behind you. And that might be enough for you today. So just take that right hip back, leveling the pelvis, or you might take your left hand palm to the chair, pressing your left hand into the chair. Keep your chest nice and long, right hips moving back, and then maybe that right shoulder is starting to turn up towards the ceiling. But keep your right hand on your hip here for today. Good. Another breath, sending that right hip back, turning the right shoulder up. Perfect, and then come to center. So now slowly coming out the way we came in, that right shoulder's now facing the chair. Right hand's going to come to the chair again, and then we're going to bring that back foot forward. Good, coming back into that forward fold we were in before. Pause here. Now, we're gonna take that opposite foot back. So again, check in with your feet. We want a nice wide stance for stability and balance. We're gonna take the right foot back. And then that left leg is going to be somewhat straight so that we can pull that, so you can pull your chest forward. So we don't want the straightening of the front leg to cause us to round. We still want to keep that length through the spine. We want a neutral spine as we're twisting. From here, we're going to turn the the right heel, the back foot, in towards the center of the mat. So back heel is in towards the center of the mat. Both legs are straight and we're pulling the chest forward. Now you can stay here and you can stay pulling that left hip back, and this can be your twist. You probably feel a nice stretch in the outer hip here, maybe along the outside of the left leg. So that could be enough. Or you can bring the palm of your right hand, still to the right side of the chair, but palm of the right hand pressing into the chair, and then keeping that left hip moving back. Maybe we start to turn the left shoulder up towards the ceiling, getting a little twist in the upper back. We want to keep our pelvis level. We don't want too much of the twist happening in the lower back here. We want the majority of it happening in the shoulders and the upper back, which is what we've been working on today. So now that hip is moving back, shoulders turning up. For today, this shoulder or this hand can stay on the hip. Good, take a breath. And then undo that turn, bringing both hands to the chair first, and then bringing your back foot forward. Come into that forward fold. Keep both knees nice and soft. You can maybe drape your belly towards or over your thighs, or bring your belly towards your thighs. Relax the neck. Good. And then with nice strong legs, bring the chest forward. Bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Chest is moving in front of you, or trying to move towards maybe that wall back there, whatever you've got in front of you there. And so you're going to turn on all those back muscles so we can release both hands maybe, bring them to our hips, and then hinge and come back to standing. Whew, good job. All right, let's take a seat. So bringing your chair back to where we started. Let's bring our hands to heart center, hinge from the hips. Bend the knees, slowly bring your hips back down to the chair. Good. Hands to the thighs. Did a lot of good work. Let's do one more thing just to get one more little stretch in those outer hips, and then we'll close our practice for today. So for here, we're gonna do another stretch for the outer hips. We're gonna bring our right knee or our right outer ankle to the top of our left knee. Now, if that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, right, if this motion doesn't work for you, feel free to cross the legs. If this doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, doesn't matter. You can have a block or just bring your right leg a little bit out to the side, knee is bent, okay? So we're either doing this, outer ankle to the top of the left knee, or we're crossing the legs, or we're bringing our foot to the block. So either way, hands to heart center. If you're here, instead of rounding over the leg, we're gonna lift the chest into our thumb. So hands in prayer to heart center, press your chest into your thumbs. Keep your chest lifting and then hinge forward. So keeping the rounding out of the spine, keeping the bend out of the spine, and so it's all in that outer hip. Good. Stay to where you feel the tension and breathe. If we're here, same thing. If we're here, same thing. Good. Spine is long. back to center. Let's switch to the other side. So variation number 1, foot is on the block. 2, legs are crossed. Or 3, we're in the figure 4. Good. And then either way, hands are to heart center. Lift your chest, pull your chest forward, and then hinge from the hips. Come forward. Good. Let that go, coming back up. Both feet to the floor in front of you, hands on your thighs. Just take a moment to feel your body. Feel that you've moved today. And notice how moving while paying attention to the sensations, having intention while we're moving, kind of changes the feeling in the body or in the mind after we've done it. So I like to sometimes in my classes talk about bookends, so kind of noticing how we felt in the beginning and then ending that chapter of our practice with how we feel after we've done the practice. Good. And now from here, hands to heart center. First, thank yourself for taking the time for you today to move and to feel good in your body. And then finally, I thank you for taking time with me and practicing with me today. Namaste.